Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back, citizens of the Shire, fans of UFC. Welcome back to our episode 3 of our Frodo Baggins Road to Glory UFC 3 series. We're here taking a look at Frodo's greatest of all time status, and we're a long way away from Frodo being the GOAT, but it paints an interesting picture that I wanted to show you. Kind of unique. We've got 2 submissions, 1 knockout. We've had 3 UFC fights and obviously 3 consecutive wins. We're in the beginning of Frodo's UFC career, right? I don't think I've ever had a career fighter that kind of submits and knocks out along the way. I normally fill up either submissions or knockouts, and then I'm kind of stuck wondering what to do next. I'm wondering if we could fill both of those for Frodo. 12 submissions, 13 knockouts. I think it's possible. So going back to look at our fight offer for our 7th fight for Frodo Baggins. We've got 3 options. Tucker Ware. Very low fight hype. Not super interested in this fight. You'll notice the next 2 fights, Xavier Flores and Brody Montoya. Love that name. Not as good as Frodo Baggins, but both of these fights are very similar. Low fight hype, 4 weeks of camp. We're better than them pretty much all the way across the board. I think we're going to fight Xavier Flores, 1, because he's 4-1, and I'd love to give him a second loss, and 2, because his striking is 62, where Brody Montoya has a striking of 63. So we're going to go ahead and schedule this camp against Xavier Flores. One other interesting thing to note, our rival fight is next. We'll be going back up against Kuznetsov after this fight, regardless if we win or lose, but I'd love to go into our rival fight against Kuznetsov at 7-0. So I'm going to go ahead and schedule camp here. Let's go ahead and take a look at the gym options that we've got. We have $63,000 now, which is substantial. We've been to the boxing gym. We've been to the jiu-jitsu gym. We don't have the wrestling gym membership. I would love to end up at Crossbreed MMA at some point at this, like, the next step wrestling gym, but with a $50,000 membership cost, we're not going to be able to schedule 4 weeks of camp there. So I'm thinking we are I'm thinking we're going to end up heading to the boxing gym just for this camp, and then hopefully next camp we'll have enough money to head to Crossbreed MMA. So I'm going to go ahead and schedule 4 weeks of camp here. I'm going to buzz through like I normally do, but if I, do any kind of interesting trainings, or I learn any new moves, or I do any sparring, I'll kind of update you along the way. So I've realized after spending the first week at the low-level boxing gym, we've done all the learning possible. There are no other moves for us to learn at this point. I'm really focusing on our striking, our strike speed, our power, and then our endurance also, as well as blocking, toughness, and heart, really targeting the striking, the stamina, and the health. I think I'm also at some point this camp going to try to up our submission defense just a little bit, because there's nothing worse than being submitted and having no control, having nothing to do about it. So we're going to continue on through week 2, 3, 4, but I'll see you in a little bit. So in an attempt to increase our submission defense, we inadvertently decreased through minor injury. We've got -2 submission defense for this fight. Not something that I'm going to spend any points, if I even have the ability to at this point, to get rid of my injuries or my wear and tear or whatever it is. Not going to spend the points, not going to spend the time or the money to get rid of -2 submission defense. We'll just have to roll with it. So on to week 3. So we're right in the middle of week 3 of our camp, and I decided to do some sparring. I took us to 103, which is peak fitness. Leaves us with a couple extra points. We may end up overtraining, and then backing off with some extra points at the end. But our key to victory after sparring is that our opponent is a slow starter, and then they seem to come alive with their striking in the second round. So finish this fight early or look for a takedown in the second round. Both of those things I think Frodo could do. I mentioned it in, I think, the last video. Frodo's not like a first minute of the fight ender, right? He doesn't knock guys out in the first minute yet. So it might push Frodo a little bit to have to knock this guy out early, or kind of right into Frodo's forte of taking them down and kind of being on top of them, smothering them in the second round, so we don't take a bunch of strikes that we don't need to take. So again, in an effort to try to maximize our stats, we took a little wear and tear hit here. -3 strike stamina, which stinks, but I think it's manageable. I think it'll be all right. So week 4 of camp has been an interesting week as well. We took an ice bath. After saying I wasn't going to take an ice bath, it was super cheap, only cost 20 weekly points. We did it. It dropped our fitness down. But then in Grappling Defense 101, we took -3 footwork. So we are a little banged up going into the 7th fight here. Nothing Frodo can't overcome, I don't think, but definitely a little more injured, a little more banged up than I would like. So I'm going to go ahead and back out of this menu and take you right into our lead up for the fight here. Man, I was hopeful I could get that to medium, but we've got low fight hype and we're at peak fitness at 101%, so I'm not concerned. Let's go ahead and get into this fight here. Got to select our home nationals. Flyweight 6-0, Frodo Baggins. Here we go.
And now our tail of the tape for this flyweight tilt. 3 years apart, with some differences in height and a similar reach.
Once again, we're fighting somebody that's a little bigger than us, a little older than us, but it hasn't proved to be much of an issue so far. Here we go. Flores is not interested in touching gloves.
This young man brings to the table here tonight. He has won his last 3 fights, and if he wins a 4th one here tonight, he could just be staring at his first UFC title fight. If not, it might be a title.
I love that that jab leg kick combo. Oop. I need to get some more boxing combos. That's not bad.
All right, so here we go with round 1. There is no denying just how much power this fighter has in his kick. So let's see how early
backing out of that one as I threw it.
Does he go low to the leg? Does he go high to the head? Let's see how the early portions of this fight play out. Oh, that punch will count. Landed flush. Very nice leg kick for him there. Can't take too many of those.
Oh, good combination.
Well, we told you you might see that weapon early tonight, and there it is. First head kick lands flush.
Frodo hasn't had any standing knockouts yet. I'm just thinking through our victories in the UFC so far. That was a ground and pound knockout that he did have.
Under 3 minutes now to go in the round.
There he swung with a haymaker. Nice
Oof.
shot.
Trying to double up on that jab.
Slightly deflected.
Let's see if we can get him in the clinch here. Frodo hasn't done much clinch work.
Body shot.
Oh, I had the tie and I missed it.
Over under.
Here. That's not what I want. There it is. No. Single collar. Tie. Let's get him in the tie clinch. Oof. Oh, man, Frodo. Nice knee. We're running out of stamina here. I got to back out of this. So, getting him in the clinch did some nice damage, but I did lose a good amount of stamina. Oh, boy. Alright, with a minute left, we're going to try to score a takedown. Man, that single leg took years. Okay, he wants up. Double leg. Nice. Perfect. Let's posture up. I'm gonna no, all right. Well, we scored one takedown.
10 seconds now in round 1. Second round, straight ahead.
Well, based on the sparring information, we know he's going to come out. We know he's going to come out flying here in the second round. We have to be aware of that.
All right, second round underway.
At the end of that round,
oh, that was
clearly
hurt.
Smart. He's going to look to start this round off fast and try to
beautiful.
where he left off.
Let's transition to half guard. Let's put him into one of our famous Frodo Baggins arm triangles. Oh, I messed it up. I messed it up.
And he's out. Left hand. Well, just because you're on your back doesn't mean you can't throw offense. Staying busy here. You like to see that, Joe.
He's securing the arm, clamps it down. He's got to get that leg free. Hop over to the other side. He's got it. Now he wants to rotate to apply pressure. He's got it.
Come on, Frodo.
The choke is getting very tight. He might have to tap any second now.
Got him. Got him. Sorry, Xavier Flores. You were no match for the Onion Knight. The Onion Ring. The Onion Knight. That's a Dark Souls throwback.
Didn't tap in time and went out.
Yeah, that's about as good as it gets with that choke.
Have all of our submissions been arm triangle submissions? Maybe I need to start branching out a little bit. It's just so convenient. You take them down, you're on top, you transition, arm triangle. If we could get like a 4-step arm triangle, or I'm getting greedy, a 3-step arm triangle, that would be killer. Look at Frodo's shorts, say Baggins on the side. Taking the UFC by storm. You know what fight's next now. We're going to get it into this video. We've done the first one against Xavier Flores. Now it's Misha Kuznetsov. We're coming for him. So the judges did have me winning the first round 10-9. If we look at the first round statistics, I did score a stun wobble. He actually threw more significant strikes. I landed more. Again, I threw 30 more punches than him. It says I attempted 4 takedowns, which I don't. Maybe I'll have to rewatch it when I edit, but I don't know if maybe some of them just didn't. They counted as takedowns, but there was like no chance for them. And then the second round, we barely threw any punches, took him right down. It was the sparring advice that kind of made me do that. Didn't want to be on my feet with him in the second round, so. Let's go ahead and take a look at our GOAT status. That might be enough money now to go on to Crossbreed MMA, the wrestling gym. Also, one of our optional contract goals is to win all fights by stoppages. We've won 4 out of 5. That means we have to submit Kuznetsov or we have to knock him out. So here it is, our 8th fight of Frodo Baggins' UFC, well, not UFC, our 8th fight of Frodo Baggins' MMA career against Misha Kuznetsov, and boy, did he get better. Kuznetsov has 5 better striking, 15 better grappling, and then both his stamina and his health are better than ours. He's 5-7 compared to our 7-0, but boy, did he get a lot better. See, it's kind of interesting, right? He loses his fight to us, gets promoted to the UFC right after we do, without fighting any more fights, and then is yoked coming into this rival fight. Medium fight hype, 4 weeks. It's time to get into it. So if my mental math is correct, I think we have just enough money to purchase the Crossbreed MMA membership and then schedule 4 weeks of camp here. I think we're going to be left with like $1,100 or something like that. Yep, look at that. The rematch between Frodo Baggins and Misha Kuznetsov set to take place in Toronto. Frodo Baggins will get another chance to prove he's better than Misha Kuznetsov. So Frodo spent the first 40 points of week 1 learning against Brian Caraway and earned double leg takedown level 2, judo throw level 2, and then judoka level 2 and slam boost level 2. Let's go ahead and check out those moves and those perks and see how they're going to benefit Frodo here. Takedowns, double leg level 2 is just good, right? It just makes our takedowns better. Oh, in the clinch, we've got the judo throw, which is pretty awesome and kind of gives us more of an incentive to get into the clinch with people, if I can then toss them, in a really kind of awesome, cool, flashy way. So looking at the perks, we have 5 perks selected, and both of these perks that we earned are grappling perks. I'm just going to click on Heavy Hands, which I am not going to get rid of because I love throwing hooks. But Slam Boost increases damage for all power takedowns or throws. And Judoka improves hip and judo throws from the clinch. We've got Heavy Hands, which I'm going to keep. Zero in, consecutive combos, going to keep. To your feet, increase takedown defense attribute for all get-ups. I think I'm going to keep that one. Off the back, increase submission offense attribute by +3 in a bottom submission. We haven't had many opportunities to submit from the bottom because we haven't been taken down all that often. But I think as we start going up against fighters like Kuznetsov, who have superior grappling, that may be very, very useful. And then guard specialist, increase bottom game attribute when in full guard, rubber guard, and half guard. We could get rid of this because, again, we're not on the bottom that often, but it's a level 3 perk. Increase damage for all power takedowns or throws. I'm gonna lay off of these 2 new perks that we just earned. I know they're great, but maybe once we start tailoring Frodo a little bit more in that direction, the power throws and the clinch direction, for now I think that the 5 perks we have selected are our way forward. So I really think at Crossbreed MMA, the tap and strike training option is my favorite of almost anywhere that you can go and any combination that you can train, because it works top game, submission offense, and grapple stamina. If you were to just spam tap and strike, you would be such an amazing submission specialist. Your top game, your submission offense, and your grapple stamina would be lights out. So we're probably going to train that a good amount while we're at Crossbreed MMA this camp. So in our last week of camp, we did some sparring. And in the post-sparring results, we see that the key to victory against Kuznetsov is that rubber guard or full guard omoplata submissions may be your best chance at winning this fight. That's interesting because we've got an omoplata submission. And to know that we should use it kind of puts us in the right spot here. We're at 104 peak fitness. Probably not going to get to train much more. We'll leave it there. So it seems to me that this camp leading up to our fight with Kuznetsov went about as well as it could have gone. 105 peak fitness. I did lots of the fight hype and popularity stuff. Got us up to high fight hype. We're ready to take on our rival. This is as must-win of a fight as Frodo has ever fought in before. You know it. Our home nationals. Here we go.
And now our tail of the tape for this flyweight tilt. 4 years apart, with similar height and some differences in reach.
So Kuznetsov is an interesting fighter because he's only an inch taller than us. He weighs a little more than us, but his reach is actually much shorter than ours, which kind of puts him in our striking class, right? We're going to be able to strike from similar distances. Frodo may even have, he will have a little bit more of an advantage. So let's get into this fight. I'm telling you now, I'm not touching gloves with Kuznetsov. It's petty, but he's our rival, and I want nothing to do with him. Let's pound his head into the canvas. Here we go. I'm going to really work on some of these, kind of quick boxing combos now that we have a little bit of a reach advantage.
Perhaps there will be a little bit of a feeling out process here. Both guys were trying to put the emotions out of the equation here tonight. But it is rival versus rival under the lights here tonight.
Clean punch.
All right, here we go. First round is underway. You know
Oh,
the wrestler's
boy.
going to go for the takedown attempts early and often tonight. Has to get this fight to the ground to try to employ his ground and pound style. Should have the advantage there if he can get the fight to the canvas. Oh, he found the target there. That'll work.
Nope, I want to...
Hit him hard with that hook.
Huge hook there.
Oh!
And both guys really throwing with authority. Trying to establish that jab once again. Oh, he connects there. Lands a big elbow there.
Man, that is rough.
Oh, yeah, that's a nice head kick right there, Frodo.
Again, going back to the jab just out of range. That landed.
Ah,
And now that jab starting to get established.
man, I can't get into the clinch.
Oh, nice little sequence
There
of
we go.
punches there, Joe. In on a
Oh, I
single
tried the single leg takedown. Didn't work. And he's going to let me up. I'm noticing that guys don't want to be on the ground with Frodo. If we fail a takedown, they're normally letting us right back up.
Jabs off the left and jabs off the right.
Oh, left hook to the head is blocked.
That cut on his cheek is really starting to get nasty.
Get him in the clinch.
They could stop this fight.
Oh, nice job of avoiding the clinch. Manly defense there. Huge block for him.
We have to pile on that elbow on, what is, it's his left eye. I think it's cut pretty good. Oh, not like that.
He's going to pay the price there to the body. Got to be careful. You don't want to eat too many of those power hooks downstairs. Connects with the punch there. And lands the left there. Gets the takedown late in the round here, Joe. You see a lot of fighters do that to try to maybe swing the judges in their favor. Very big.
That's all right. We scored a takedown there.
That one hurt.
Throwing that jab, no good.
Ooh, he was trying for a...
Wants to clinch, but the fighter's not having it. Nicely done. He blocks the shot. Well, straight right hand has been a good weapon for him. He misses with it there.
Tagged him after the horn a little bit. Yeah, Kuznetsov has a nice little cut under his left eye. My corner says that I probably won the last round. We're going to try for another takedown or two, but I would love nothing more than to knock Kuznetsov out.
All right, here we go with round two. All right, so second round underway. A little bit of a feeling out process, I guess, in that first round. Entertaining action on both sides. Nothing that wowed the crowd necessarily, Joe, but your thoughts ultimately on what we saw over those first 5 minutes.
That was a beautiful takedown. Excellent timing there.
All right, so another stiff jab there. Really good use of that weapon, not unlike he did in the previous round.
Nice punch to the body. Beautiful punch. He postures into place. Nice elbow. Back to full guard. Wow. Good punch.
Okay.
Back to the stand-up.
We did some damage there.
Starting to do some really significant damage to the body here. Another strike lands there.
Exactly. Tags him. He's doing a good job of throwing punches and kicks from all angles here. Really doing a great job of mixing things up.
Some nice back and forth action here. Overhand to the head is true. Great technique there.
Good punch.
Oh, man, he's throwing.
Hook lands. Well, he's really picked up the pace here in round two. Much more aggressive now.
That's
And
it.
starting to find himself in the pocket.
Nice jab.
Strong defense here as the hook to the head is blocked.
It's in. He's deep. He's going to clasp the hands together. Excellent movement on the ground here. Always trying to better his position. He lands a big shot from the bottom.
Good fight here, under 2 to go.
He's doing a great job of moving and transitioning here on the ground.
Oh, I wanted to...
Back to
No.
over under control.
Oh, let's get into the tie. And he breaks.
Separation here.
Oh, nice.
Well, he gets cracked to the head there, Joe.
Man, he is... I think he might be winning the game
He's almost moving
on
into
our
the strike at
feet.
this point in time.
And
You've gotta
I
get
think
that
I'm
head
winning
off
the
the
fight
center line.
on the ground. So,
And he lands a nice kick.
Good 1-2.
let's go back to the ground.
For the single leg. Oh, again trying for the takedown. Again, he gets it.
Look at the bruising on his torso.
Oof.
Excellent movement here on the ground.
If I go for a submission, am I going to have time? You know what? I don't want to submit him with an arm triangle.
30 seconds to go in the round.
I mean, if it comes down to winning the fight or losing the fight, I'm going to submit him from an arm triangle.
Tries to pass, but can't.
He's not letting me in the back.
Remain in round two. Round three.
Oh boy, is this Frodo's first fight to the third round?
The fighter has a cut on.
One more against Kuznetsov. We need it.
All right, 5 minutes
And I want
to
to
decide this one.
knock him out or submit him. I don't want this to go to decision. Don't leave any error for, or any room for error on. Ooh.
There he swung with a haymaker. Excellent defense here. Really good job blocking all those shots coming at his head. He hurt him.
Man,
Frodo is throwing. That's it. It's over. Frodo Baggins takes down Misha Kuznetsov. You didn't stand a chance, bud. I really think I probably did win the first 2 rounds, but I love the knockout. That overhand just rocked him, and from there I just poured it on. He had nothing to do about it, right? He had no chance. Kind of like he had me on the ropes a little bit with his punches in the second round. There was no escaping that. Once I rocked him, it was over.
For the knockout. Great angle here. Boom.
Just teeing off on him.
All smiles. What a huge knockout he turned in here tonight. That is one they'll be talking about for some time.
That's a big fight. New contract. We're moving up. Oh, Kuznetsov, you look like you just got absolutely destroyed. Bruce Buffer by knockout. Frodo Baggins, the comeback kid. We're moving forward. We're moving up. Happy with that fight. Threw a lot more strikes, as you know, as is normal. Yep, the judges scored at 20-18, all 3 of them. So I won the first 2 rounds, and then the rest is history in the 3rd round. Let's go ahead and check our GOAT status quick. That's such a big-time fight for us if we look at it. 3 submissions, 2 knockouts, 5 total finishes, a performance bonus, which I don't know if I've won many performance bonuses after knocking an opponent out. I normally get performance bonuses when you submit someone. Our contract goals, we hit all 3 of the optionals, win a fight by stoppage, get at least 1 fight to high fight hype, and then beat our rookie rival. We're at 94% longevity, so we haven't taken too much of a beating so far. We pick up 50,000, almost 52,000 fans, and $73,000, which puts us in a very, very, very nice spot as we go forward here. End of story. Frodo Baggins ends Misha Kuznetsov rivalry with a spectacular knockout. Love it. We've beat him 3 times now, I think. Kuznetsov is old news. Now we're going to have to pick up a new rival. We've earned a new contract. I think this is our prospect. Yep.